Hello, my dear children. Welcome to the mathematics class. We are going to discuss conic sections. In this chapter, in the previous class, we have discussed the concepts of exercise 11.3. Means we have discussed the concepts of third kind of conic sections, that is ellipse. Yes or no, my dear children? We have completed the concepts in the previous class. I hope you have understood the concepts of ellipse. Haven't you, my dear children? Right. Today we are going to discuss the problems on ellipse by using the previous knowledge. The concepts of ellipse. By using the concepts of ellipse, we are going to solve the sums on ellipse. Are you ready to listen the class, my dear children? Right. In the previous class, we have discussed only two types of ellipse, two cases only. One is the ellipse whose major axis is along the x-axis, and the second one is the major axis of the ellipse is along the y-axis. Okay, my children, do you remember that equations of an ellipse, my children? Right. Now come to this example. Let us take an example to understand these concepts well. Okay, my children. Right. Find the coordinates of the foci, the vertices, the length of major axis, the minor axis, the eccentricity, and the lattice rectum of the ellipse. X square by 25 plus y square by 9 is equal to 1. Understood this question, my children? Right. Here, equation of an ellipse was given. With the help of the equation of this ellipse, we had to find coordinates of foci, the vertices, the length of major axis, the length of minor axis, eccentricity, and the length of the lattice rectum of the ellipse. Okay, my children. Understood this question? Right. If you observe the equation of the ellipse, what is the coefficient of x square? In the denominator 25. What is the coefficient of y square? In the denominator 9. If you observe these two numbers, which number is greater? So coefficient of x square, the denominator in the coefficient of x square is greater. So what do you say about the major axis of the ellipse? Yes, the major axis of this ellipse is along the x-axis. Yes or no, my children? Right. Now let us visualize this ellipse. Okay, my children? Right. See, this is the visual representation of this ellipse. X square by 25 plus y square by 9 is equal to 1. The major axis of this ellipse is along the x-axis, because the coefficient of y square, the denominator in the coefficient of x square is greater. Okay, my children? Right. Since the denominator of x square by 25 is larger than the denominator of y square by 9, so the major axis is along the x-axis. Understood this point, my children? Right. Comparing the given equation with x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. Okay, my children? We get, okay, my children? We get a is equal to 5. Yes, sorry, my children? Here this is a square value. So what is a value? 5. And this is a b square value. So b is equal to 3. Understood this step, my children? Right. Also, c is equal to, do you remember the relationship between the distance between the center and focus of the ellipse, and length of the semi-major axis, and length of the semi-minor axis, my children? This is the relationship between the three variables, that is a, b, and c. So c is equal to square root of a square minus b square. Do you remember this formula, my children? Right. That is equal to square root of, what is the value of a square here? 25, minus what is the value of b square? 9. Then what will you get? Square root of 25 minus 9? Yes, 16. Square root of 16. What is the value of square root of 16? 4. So we wrote that value directly here. Understood this statement, children? So we got the value of C. We found here. Okay, my children. Therefore, the coordinates of the foci are. Then what are the coordinates of the foci? C comma 0 minus C comma 0. Yes or no, my children? So to find the coordinates of the foci, we have found the value of C. Understood this point, my children? So minus 4 comma 0 and 4 comma 0. We got the coordinates of the foci of the ellipse. Understood this point, my children? Right. Now come to the vertices. Vertices are, what are the vertices of this ellipse? A and B. Yes or no, my children? So A is equal to minus 5 comma 0 and B coordinates are 5 comma 0. Understood this point, my children? Right. Now come to length of the major axis. Do you remember the formula, my children? What is the length of the major axis? 2a. Yes or no, my children? So 2 into 5, what will you get? 10 units. Similarly, length of the minor axis, that is 2b. So 2 into, what is the value of b here? 3. So 2 into 3, 6 units. Understood this point, my children? Right. And the eccentricity is equal to, do you remember the formula, my children? Eccentricity of the ellipse. Yes, C by A is equal to C by A. See, what is the value of C here? 4 by, what is the value of A? 5. If you remember the formulas well, we can solve the sums on ellipse. Okay, my children. And latus rectum. What is the formula for length of latus rectum of the ellipse? 2b square by A. Okay, my children, that is equal to 2 into, what is the value of b square here? 9. So 2 into 9. What will you get in the numerator? 18 by, what is the value of A here? 5. Understood this step, my children? Right. Now let us take another example. Okay, my children. Find the coordinates of the foci, the vertices, the lengths of major and minor axis, and the eccentricity of the ellipse. 9x square plus 4y square is equal to 36. Okay, my children. Have you identified the difference between the previous example and this example? Yes. In the previous example, the equation of the ellipse was given directly in the standard form, whereas in this example the equation of the ellipse was not given in the standard form directly. This is the difference, and the remaining part is the same as the first example. Okay, my children, understood this example? Right. So first of all, let us transform this equation of the ellipse into the standard form. Okay, my children. After that, we go to the further steps. Okay, my children. Right. Now come to the solution part. The given equation of the ellipse can be written in the standard form as x squared by 4 plus y squared by 9 is equal to 1. Understood this step, my children? How will you get this equation from this equation? Yes. Divide this entire equation by 36. Because in the equation, the standard form of an ellipse, RHS should be 1. We should get 1 in RHS in the standard form of ellipses in both cases. Yes or no, my children? So that is why we are dividing this entire equation of this ellipse by 36. Then what will get? The first term 9x square by 36. Then what will you get after simplification? 9 once, 9 4 times. Yes or no, my children? So finally we get first term is x square by 4. Understood this first term, my children? Right. Now come to the second term, plus 4y square by 36. So now, here also we are dividing the second term by 36. Then what will you get? 4y square by 36. Then 4 1 times, 4 9 times. Then what will you get? The second term plus y square by 9. Understood the second term, my children? Right. That is equal to, in RHS also we divide this term by 36. 36 by 36. What will you get? 1. Understood this step, my children? Understood this equation, my children? Right. So we have transformed, we have converted the given equation of the ellipse into the standard form of the ellipse. Okay, my children? right? After that, we have to identify the denominator of x square and the denominator of y square. We have to compare them. Okay, my dear children, to know the what is the major axis and what is the minor axis. Okay, my dear children, right? If you observe the denominators of x square and y square, what is the denominator of x square? 4. What is the denominator of y square? 9. So by comparing these two numbers, which number is greater? 9. Yes or no, my children? So coefficient of y square, denominator of y square is larger than the denominator of x square. Yes or no, my children? Right. Since the denominator of y square by 9 is larger than the denominator of x square by 4, the major axis is along the y axis. Okay, my children, understood this point? I will represent this equation pictorially. I will give the pictorial representation of this ellipse. See, my children, this is the pictorial representation of this ellipse. The major axis of the ellipse is along the y-axis because denominator of y square is larger than the denominator of x square. So, my children, right? And I will write the equation of this ellipse. What is the equation of this ellipse? X square by b square plus y square by a square is equal to 1. So this is the equation of the ellipse. Okay, my children, right? Now comparing the given equation with the standard form, x square by b square plus y square by a square is equal to 1. Understood this step, my children? Why we are comparing this equation of the ellipse with this equation of this ellipse? Right? Because of this reason, we are comparing the given equation of the ellipse with this equation. Then what will you get? What is the b square value here? 4. So what will you get? B is equal to 2. What is the value of a square? A square is equal to 9. Then what will you get? Value of a? 3. Understood these two values, my children? We got a value and a b value. After that, we will find c value. As we proceed in the previous example, here also we follow the same steps. Then c is equal to square root of a square minus b square. Okay, my children, do you remember this formula? Yes, this is a relation between a, b and c. Okay, my children, that is equal to square root of a square. What is a square value here? 9 minus what is the value of b square? 4. That is equal to square root of 9 minus 4. What will you get? 5. So square root of 5. This is the value of c. Understood this step, my children? Right. Now eccentricity. What is the formula to find the eccentricity of an ellipse? C by a. Okay, my children. That is equal to what is the value of c here? Root 5 by what is the value of a here? 3. So root 5 by 3. Understood this step, my children? Right. Now what are the coordinates of foci? See here, my children. These are the foci. So 0 comma c and 0 comma minus c. Yes or no, my children? These are focus. This is the one focus, this is another focus, and this is the vertex and this is another vertex. So 0 comma c. What is the value of c here? Root 5. So 0 comma c and 0 comma minus 5. 0 comma root 5 comma 0 comma minus root 5 are the foci of this ellipse. Then what are the vertices of this ellipse? Yes, 0 comma a and 0 comma minus a. So 0 comma 3. What is the value of a here? 3. So 0 comma 3 and 0 comma minus 3 are the vertices of the ellipse. Now come to the length of the major axis. What is the length of the major axis? 2a. So 2 into a. What is the value of a here? 3. 2 3s are 6 units. Understood this point, my children? Right. Now come to the length of the minor axis. What is the formula? Length of the minor axis? 2b. So 2 into what is the value of b here? 2. So 2 2s are 4 units. Understood this point, my children? Right. And eccentricity of the ellipse is what is the eccentricity of the ellipse? We have found here. E is equal to root 5 by 3. Understood this example, my children? Right. Now let us take another example. Find the equation of the ellipse whose vertices are plus or minus 13 comma 0 and foci are ordered pair plus or minus 5 comma 0. Understood this question, my children? In the previous examples, they have given equation of the ellipse and we found the remaining values of the ellipse. I mean coordinates of the foci, coordinates of the vertices, length of the major axis, length of the minor axis, and the eccentricity of the ellipse. We have found all these. But here in this question, in this example, we have to find the equation of the ellipse by using this data. Okay, my children, please observe the vertices and foci of the ellipse. Here y coordinate is 0. These points lie on x-axis. Yes or no, my children? Here also y coordinate is 0. So these 2 points lie on x-axis and these 2 points also. So vertices and foci lie on x-axis. Yes or no, my children? Right. So the geometrical representation of the required ellipse will be like this. The foci of the ellipse are on x-axis and vertices of the ellipse also on x-axis because the y coordinates of these points are 0. Understood this point, my children? Right. Now come to the solution part. Since the vertices are on x-axis, the equation of the required ellipse will be of the form x squared by a square plus y squared by b square is equal to 1, where a is the semi-major axis and b is the semi-minor axis. Okay, my children, understood this step? Right. Here given that a is equal to 13, yes or no, my children, and c is equal to plus or minus 5. Okay, my children, understood these 2 steps, right? Therefore, we know the relation between a, b and c. C square is equal to a square minus b square. Do you remember this relation between the values a, b and c value of an ellipse? Right. In this equation, let us substitute a and c values to get the value of b. So c square, what we will get here? C square value 25 is equal to, what is the value of here? 13. So 13 square 169 minus b square. Understood this step, my children? So from this equation, what will you get? B is equal to 12. Can you solve this equation, my children, to find the value of B? Right. Finally, we get here B value 12. So we know the value of A and we know the value of B. Then we can write the equation of the ellipse. What is the equation of the ellipse? X square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. Yes or no, my children? So in this equation of the ellipse, substitute the values of a and b. Hence, the equation of the ellipse is x square by a square, that is 13 square. What will get here? 169 plus y square by b square. What is the value of b here? 12. 12 square value is 144 is equal to 1. Understood this example, my dear children? Right. Now let us take another example. Okay, my children, find the equation of the ellipse whose length of the major axis is 20 and foci are 0, plus or minus 5. Understood this question, my children? Here also we have to find the equation of the ellipse with the help of the given data. What is the given data here? Length of the major axis is given and foci of the ellipse also given. First, focus on this point, the coordinates of foci of the ellipse. Where will be there? Yes, these foci lie on y-axis because here x coordinate of these foci are 0. Yes or no, my children? Understood this point? The foci lie on y-axis means the major axis of the ellipse is along the y-axis. Understood this point, my children? Right. Then what is the equation of the ellipse whose major axis is along the y-axis? Yes, x squared by b square plus y squared by a square is equal to 1. Yes or no, my children? We have to identify that point. It is a very, very important concept. Okay, my children? Right. Now come to the solution part. Since the foci are on y-axis, the major axis is along the y-axis. Okay, my children. So the equation of the ellipse is of the form x square by b square plus y square by a square is equal to 1. Okay, my children. Understood this step. I will represent the equation of the ellipse pictorially like this. See here, my children, this is the pictorial representation of the ellipse. Here foci of the ellipse lie on y-axis. So this is the pictorial representation of the given ellipse. Okay, my children, and the equation of the ellipse is x square by b square plus y square by a square is equal to 1. This is the equation of the ellipse whose major axis is along the y-axis. Okay, my children, please remember these points, my children. Right, now come to the point. Given that A is equal to semi-major axis, yes or no, my children, that is equal to 20 by 2. Please remember, my dear children, A represents always the length of the semi-major axis and B represents always the length of the semi-minor axis. Okay, my children, right. So A is equal to 20 by 2. Here given that length of the major axis is 20. So length of the semi-major axis is 20 by 2. That is equal to 10. Understood this step, my children? So we got the value of A. After that we had to find the value of B. So by using this result, C square is equal to A square minus B square. By using this relation between A, B and C, we are finding the value of C. B, we have to find the value of B. Okay, my children. So what is C here? Yes, 5. So my children, here 0 comma 5, here 0 comma minus 5. So the value of C is 5. So 5 square is equal to, what is the value of 10 here? 10 square minus B square. Understood this step, my children? So from this equation, we are going to find the value of B square. Then we get B square is equal to 75. Understood this step, my children? We got B square value. Therefore, the equation of the ellipse is x square by b square plus y square by a square is equal to 1. Yes or no, my children? In this equation of the ellipse, substitute the value of a square and b square. Then what will get? X square by 75. B square value is 75. So x square by 75 plus y square by a square. What is the value of a square? 10 square, 100 is equal to 1. This is the required equation of the ellipse. Understood this example, my dear children? Right. Now let us take another example. Okay, my dear children, find the equation of the ellipse with the major axis along the x-axis and passing through the points ordered pair 4, 3 and ordered pair -1, 4. Okay, my dear children, understood this question? Right. Here also we have to find equation of the ellipse with the help of the given data. Okay, my dear children? Right. What is the given data here? Major axis of the ellipse is along the x-axis. This is a clue for us. This is a hint for us to imagine, to identify the equation of the ellipse. Yes or no, my children? Yes, here the major axis of the required ellipse is along the x-axis. Then what is the equation of the ellipse whose major axis is along the x-axis? Yes, x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. That is the equation of the ellipse whose major axis is along the x-axis. Okay, my dear children, understood this point? Right. Now come to the solution part. The standard form of the ellipse is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. You have to imagine, you have to identify this equation of the required ellipse. Okay, my dear children? Right. I will visualize the ellipse. I will visualize the ellipse. I will show the graphical representation of this ellipse. See here, my children, this is a visual representation of the required ellipse. The major axis of the ellipse is along the x-axis. Okay, my children, that is why equation of the required ellipse is in the form of x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. Understood this point, my children? Right. And what is the another hint given here? The ellipse is passing through these 2 points. Means these 2 points satisfy the equation of the ellipse. Means this point lie on the ellipse and the second point is also lie on the ellipse. Okay, my children. So let us substitute this first point 4, 3 in the equation of the ellipse. In the place of x, we substitute 4. In the place of y, we substitute 3. Okay, my children. By substituting these x and y values in this equation, what we'll get? X square means 4 square, that is equal to 16 by a square, plus in the place of y, substitute in this equation 3 square. What is the value of 3 square? 9 by b square is equal to 1. Then we get a result. Let us assume that, let us consider this is equation 1. Let us consider this is equation 1. Okay, my children, understood this equation 1? Right. Similarly, second point is also lie on the ellipse, because the ellipse is passing through this point, means the point lie on the ellipse. Okay, my children. So here also let us substitute these 2 values in the equation of the ellipse, where x is equal to -3 and y is equal to 4. Okay, my children. -1 whole square. What will get here? 1 by a square, plus come to the second term. In the place of y, substitute 4. Then what will get? 4 square. 16 by b square is equal to 1. We get a result here. Let us consider this result as equation 2. Okay, my children, understood this equation 2. Now, if you observe these 2 equations, these are the equations in 2 variables, 2 unknown values, a square and b square. Yes or no, my children? So assume that 1 by a square is equal to s and 1 by b square is equal to y for our convenient only. Okay, my children. Then what will you get here? 16s plus 9t is equal to 1. Here s plus 16t is equal to 1. Yes or no, my children? In our mind, we have to assume these 2 equations are a pair of linear equations in 2 variables, namely a square and b square. Okay, my children. So solve these 2 equations to find the values of a square and b square. So solving the equations 1 and 2, you have already solved a pair of linear equations in 2 variables in your earlier class. Yes or no, my children? Yes. Use that previous knowledge to solve this pair of linear equations in 2 variables. Then we find a square is equal to 247 by 7 and b square is equal to 247 by 15. Okay, my children, will you do that part, solving the 2 equations? Okay, my children. So finally we get a square and b square values. Now let us substitute these 2 values in the equation of the ellipse. Hence the required equation is x square by a square. What is a square here? 247 by 7 plus y square by b square. What is the value of b square? 247 by 15 is equal to 1. Okay, my children. You can leave the equation of the ellipse by this step, or you can simplify the taking LCM of the denominator and simplify like this, and you can write the required equation of the ellipse in this form also. So then we get 7x square plus 15y square is equal to 247. Okay, my children, understood this example? Right.